Welcome back, Drive Time Sports here on Extra Sports 1300. And not many people get the opportunity or try to get the opportunity to travel 5,000 miles away from home to pursue their dream, albeit being just barely out of high school. But heck, I pursued my career a whole 2 hours away from where I grew up. But that's exactly what my next guest is doing, a 2015 graduate of Golden High School. He is now playing soccer professionally over in Germany with the hope of one day playing maybe in Allianz Arena, Westfalenstadion, something like that. And as his Twitter account says, just trying to take the road less traveled. Victor Rolph joins me now. Victor, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. So you go to Golden High School. You played at Otero Junior College down in La Junta.
Yep.
Okay. So you're taking a more conventional path. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're not going pro in the U.S. or whatever immediately, but you're on your way. You're progressing. And then you go from La Junta, Colorado, and then you're in Germany. So fill in the blanks here. How did you get from point A to point B, and why did you want to go from point A to point B?
When I was in high school, at Golden High School, I was playing with the Colorado Rapids Developmental Academy.
Mm-hmm.
As well, I got some time with the U.S. Under-17 national team. And in that process, I met Justin Rose and got in contact with him out in Germany, where when I was 17, I got to go out to Frankfurt and try out and train with Eintracht Frankfurt, Darmstadt, Offenbach, and Kaiserslautern, which was a great experience. And unfortunately, I wasn't of age to sign a contract at that time.
What is the age over there?
I believe it was 18
Okay.
that I needed to sign, or my parents needed to move out there, which unfortunately, like I said, didn't work. But I wasn't ready to stop there. I came back to Colorado, back to Golden High School, back to the Rapids, and kept training with hopes, and my goals were always to return back to Germany. I had a great time out there. It was a great experience, something I'll always remember. And as I got back to Golden, I had a few injuries and just a few things, as I talked to Justin about it, life happens. So after those, I still had the goal in mind to pursue my soccer career. And right before preseason for Otero actually started, I got a call from their coach saying to come down. So I played a semester there, still with Germany in the back of my mind. Had a good semester there. We won our region. And then I started preparing myself to head back to Germany.
And let me bring in Justin Rose. Of course, many of our listeners know Justin. Of course, he was the architect behind Colorado Cup 2016. So when Victor says he came to you, explain that. This under-18 kid comes to you and he says, I want to play in Germany. Talk about, from your perspective, how your interaction with Victor came about and then how you were able to facilitate him going and training with all those big clubs that he just mentioned.
This was a unique situation. A mutual friend reached out to me and said, hey, I got this kid, and he's talented. And as you know, as an American, they have to have certain things in order to even consider going abroad. But being in Germany now, 10, 11 years, and being an ex-player myself, that was always my dream and goal. And to be able to do that for someone at that time, absolutely. Totally for it. And to make that happen, you need a network and connections, and I had built that, luckily. And so after meeting him and his family, this was an important thing, went to his house and got to know him personally and off the field, and of course saw him play on the pitch. And you never know until you change someone's surroundings, how they're going to react and respond. And that's a lot of trust from his parents in me, and vice versa. So sure enough, we got him out there, and 10, 12 days, it was going to be shorter, but how he played and how he responded. And one thing I want to say is what was really great about this time is, we didn't have Kaiserslautern, Eintracht, Offenbach, Darmstadt lined up at first. He had to prove himself at the lower levels.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wonderful to see how he gained that trust from each team he played for, and the ability for a coach to say, okay, we want to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did it all by himself. But with that program, we also had for him training with speed and conditioning coaches from the Bundesliga. We watched film. We went to a live game, Bayern versus Eintracht. That was really cool. We really immersed him in the German culture and to get a feel for what it's like to be a professional.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we provided all this for him, but it was how he responded on the pitch and how he responded every day, which got him to have that success.
Your parents, mentioned them a few times, how crucial they have been. Were they on board immediately?
No,
Okay.
they know it's always been a dream of mine,
Right.
and they support it. But with that being said, my mom's a teacher, so with me taking this step a little away from school, she wasn't all over that at first.
Mhm.
But as they met Justin and saw my passion for it and understood how things were going to work, they supported me, and I can't thank them enough.
Mhm.
Family is always something that's very important to me, and as things are progressing, I never forget to thank them, or it wouldn't be possible without them. I guess that's an easy way to put it.
And obviously the passion is there to become a professional soccer player, and I understand with Justin's connections that leads you to Germany. After you go there the first time and you have to come back, why Germany again?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it has to do with my first experience out there. I really enjoyed the soccer, the football, and the culture, the way they play, the way they organize things, all of that. And with that being said, Germany was one of the first options that came up again. And with the injuries that came my way and things like that, I had to prove myself again. So I took that opportunity to go back out there. I was excited about it, and it's going well. But yeah, I mean, I think I really like the way the Germans organize their club and their trainings, and their passion for the game is great.
When Victor was there, it wasn't just about playing soccer. We had him enrolled in a German class for the week. He was taking online classes to kind of continue what he was already doing in the U.S. and to help make his mom happy. And so, of course, then the training on and off the pitch, it was hard work for him. Yeah. And we needed to see that so that we knew how serious he was, and he needed to see what it takes to be a professional day in and day out. And he got that, and that was the success of this first initial phase for him. And what was interesting is how it was perceived when he came back to the U.S. Not everyone thought it was an amazing thing like they should have. You'd be surprised how when politics take play, can kind of do the opposite, unfortunately.
How's your German now?
Sehr gut.
Very good. Victor Rolph joining us in studio. So you sign with Selbitz. So there's Bayern Munich right at the top. Okay, so fill in where you going to be playing now.
Okay, so now there's obviously the Bundesliga, the first Bundesliga, the second Bundesliga, and the third Bundesliga. And from there you go to the Regionalliga, Bayernliga, and Landesliga. And Selbitz is currently towards the top of their table in the Landesliga, with hopes to go up to the Bayernliga.
Right, there is a promotion relegation model over in Germany that extends down to this level. Okay.
Right. So yeah, that's where I'll be playing for this next part of the season. I'm not satisfied yet, but I'm excited to join Selbitz. I like the team, I like the group, and I think there's definitely a lot I can add.
What position do you play?
I can play anywhere.
Okay. But goalkeeper?
Hey, if you have to throw me back there, I'll do what I can. But no, I think where I'll be playing with Selbitz is around a number 10 role.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. I think that's where I'm the most dangerous. And I think I can add a lot to their attack. I think that's something they were looking for, and it's something I showed them, and something I'm excited to do. We
all understand that the leagues in Europe are far more advanced than MLS or USL. So if you could try to compare it.
I think I would put it between the USL and MLS.
Okay.
I think there's things I see in the MLS that they maybe do better with Selbitz, and there's some things that Selbitz needs to work on. I wouldn't. So I think if you were to put us in front of a MLS team or a USL team, it'd be a great match.
It'd be competitive either way. What has the hardest part of all of this been for you?
I think the language has been a tough thing. Knowing and understanding it now has expanded the things I can do on the field and off the field a lot. Being away from my family has been very tough as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all, with that being said, there's a lot of tough things about it, but I love every bit of it. You know, if it's, I wouldn't want it easy, as my Twitter page says.
Right.
I want to take the road less traveled. So, yeah, I mean, being in a different country, a different culture is obviously tough, but I'm in my element. I like being out of my comfort zone.
When do you think the first game that you're eligible to play, when would that be?
The first game, we have a preseason match. It won't be part of our season, but we play on January 21st in Selbitz, and I'll be able to be in the lineup for that match. I think I'm officially rostered with them now.
Okay.
So as that game will be our first one, and then from there, I think our season begins in March.
Justin, something that you were discussing before we went on air here was that the area that Victor is playing in is a very interesting part of Germany. You being over there for as long as you have and are seeing the growth of German soccer, this is a portion of the country that maybe in the past wasn't highly regarded, but it's starting to come up. So explain a little bit about the good spot that Victor has found himself in.
So he's right in the area where, RB Leipzig, which we all know now, if you've been following the Bundesliga, is second in the table. We're first there for a while, which is just amazing. And this club, 4 years ago, were in the 4th division. And every year they've been able to be promoted into the next higher league.
Mm-hmm.
And why have they been able to do this? Yes, you could say help from Red Bull, but that's also limited because of the 51% that fans have to own the club, but because of the youth academy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing you and I have talked a lot about is Germany's known for the youth academies, and it proves that it works, it's successful, and they've been doing a good job with everything. They have top-of-the-line facilities, you name it. But even now, their team that you see, or maybe you saw in the first part of the season, a lot of those players played in the second Bundesliga, and they have money for some players and everything, but it's just really good to see their philosophy. They've stuck to it, and this has really excited a part of Germany that hasn't been known really for successful soccer lately.
Mm-hmm.
And but you can see now that last game against Bayern, flexed their muscle, and they show the guys that they do
that from time to time, don't they?
When they have to, they do. That's right. So. But one thing I wanted to mention real quick back to Victor is, one hard part for a player like him, an American especially, is to go over, every second, every minute, every day. They have to prove themselves that much more than your average German player. So, because if I'm a coach in Germany and I see someone from America or someone in a German player, same skills, same everything, I'm going to go with the German. You're right, why not? So, he's had to prove himself every minute, every day, above and beyond, on and off the pitch, and that's not easy to do, right? And so you can just that just goes to show his character, and that U.S. mentality of we're not going to give up, and more players can do that by not giving up.
Have you felt that there's, I don't know, bias is the right word, but do you find that people kind of look at you a little bit sideways when they find out that you're American and you're playing all the way over in Germany? Is there skepticism there?
Yeah, I think for sure. When people ask me what I'm doing out in Germany and I tell them I'm playing soccer, and their first reaction is usually, well, we don't hear about a lot of soccer players coming to Germany, or American soccer players coming to Germany. And then on the pitch, it's it's tough. The guys, they may not always be very open at first, because it's their job. They have to keep their spot, and
right.
But as I get on the pitch and play with them, and they see that I can speak some German and I'm open to them, then they become more open to me.
Right.
And I let my play speak for itself. I don't always go out there to make friends, but in the process, I've met some great players, some great friends, and but they're not always open.
The two things you touched on there: you embrace their culture and you make an effort to immerse yourself, and then also you play well.
Yeah.
And you help them win games.
Right.
And that those two things can go most certainly a long way.
Right.
Justin, you're going to get Justin's phone number is 555. But you talked about Victor brought a lot of optimism here, as well he should. And you were saying, well, he's not going out living the life of an NBA player or something like that. He's working for young kids, for parents. What would be the biggest piece of advice you would give them if they're listening to this and they're saying, well, my 16, 17-year-old kid is pretty gifted. Maybe we should think about this. What would be your one piece of advice?
It's, always go for your goals and dreams. But as we said here on the show, it wasn't like, okay, Vic, let's do this. It was a process to meet him personally and talk to the family. And it was a family decision to do something like this. And that is why I know that that's why we had so much success with him that first time, because it was a team effort, And for those that want to know how can I do it, anything's possible. You have to know the right people and you have to actually just do it. But it's not going to be easy, and anything great in life isn't. And what's really cool is 2.5 years ago when we did this or so, Victor knew then about the Colorado Cup. And I proved to him as he proved to me that you work for your goals, and it may not happen right away or the next day, but you keep working at it. And, and he was really happy to see that this Colorado Cup in the Springs happened this past summer. And look at him now. He's back in Germany playing professional German soccer. And I'm happy for this because everyone knows that U.S. soccer right now is at a point where no one knows what's the second, third league, fourth league, what's going to happen. And it's kind of embarrassing if you ask me, where in Germany it's a clear path to the top. And when Victor plays the way he should, he will be seen and he can make his way up. And I'm happy about that. And he should be happy about that. Yeah. So for those young aspiring soccer players, the main thing is to, keep working at your skill. Don't think you're the best because there's always someone working harder. And if it's possible, just do it. And guys like me in Germany that have connections and other people, it's important because that's what really, matters. But then, of course, it's just like anything else, a team effort.
As you talk to 15, 16, 17-year-old players, which it wasn't too long ago that you were one of them, what would be your advice to somebody, a teenager that is thinking, well, maybe I have a future in soccer. Maybe it's not in the U.S., but what would your advice be?
I mean, similar to what Justin said, my advice would be to go for it. But in the back of your head, you have to know that it's not going to be easy and it's not always going to be the path that you expect it to be. Looking back for me, I think my path has changed 2, 3, maybe 4 times from what I thought it was going to be. But I'm very happy with the path I'm on right now. So if I had to say anything, I would say go for it, follow your goals, your dreams. But in the back of your mind, know that it's going to be a grind. You're going to have to work very hard.
Victor, I give you all the kudos in the world.
Thank you.
Because not a lot of people would have the opportunity to do what you're doing, but not a lot of people will be willing to go down the path that you've gone to. So that's a big accomplishment in and of itself. Definitely going to be following you from over here, and hopefully as the season gets going, we can talk again sometime, see how things are going. But thank you for coming in today, and all the best moving forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You bet.
Great.
There's Victor Rolph and Justin Rose joining us in studio. We'll take a break. Have more in a moment here on Extra Sports 1300. Extra Sports 1300. Extra Sports 1300.